What's up, everybody? If you want to join the greatest online Star Wars community, the Fandom Menace, make sure you hit that subscribe button before today's video starts, so you don't miss out on any updates and you're always the first to know when our newest videos go live.
There are some people who just miss the point entirely. It's like every word they say, or write in this case, is the literal equivalent of this. The physical embodiment of this is Scott Mendelson. Yes, Scott Mendelson, a name that should be familiar with longtime listeners. He's given us real winners like this. And if you're new here, Scott is somebody you'll never forget. So don't worry about the required reading for this video. But if you feel so inclined, check out the videos in the description to hear more about Scott's past boners. And I'm talking about the third definition of the word, not his... Ugh, get your mind out of the gutter, filth. Scott's most recent bone-headed interaction was his review for New Mutants, in which he says, "The New Mutants is a miserable motion picture. It's a monotonous, redundant, and irrelevant fantasy flick that fails to commit to being a teen melodrama, a YA fantasy, or a horror movie, instead offering half-assed components of all three. Despite a strong cast, the all-too-rare presence of an LGBTQIA romance between two lead characters, and a few moments of visual inventiveness, Josh Boone and Nate Lee's The New Mutants boils down to being, yes, a terrible feature-length prequel for a sequel that absolutely no one will ever want to see." Harsh words. Thankfully, this is 2020, and words have no consequences. Oh wait, yeah they do. What I meant to say is, it's 2020, and everything you say will come back and bite you in the asshole. That's the proper phrase, right? Well, you'll have to excuse me, my English is a little rusty. I've been living under a rock, communicating telepathically to slugs and such. Waste of a life. But I'm back to making videos all the time, so keep coming back every other day for new content here on this channel, and make sure your bell is clicked to all. Just a friendly reminder. This time. So Scott doesn't like the New Mutants. Surprise, surprise. You know who does like the New Mutants? Maisie Williams, star of the film in the fantastic Game of Thrones Season 8. Clearly she knows quality entertainment, just like Scott. He is a Last Jedi enthusiast, by the way. Shouldn't color your perception of him, but I won't hold it against you if you do. Back to the Game of Thrones actress, she had an enthusiastic response to Scott's review of the film. "Sounds like a must-see. Get your tickets now." You know what, Maisie Williams? I will. She, Maisie Williams, pronouns pal, would go on to elaborate on her ringing endorsement of the New Mutants by saying, "I just hope that people will wear masks and the cinemas are clean. I know there's quite an intensive cleaning process that happens between the films anyway. So I would hope that extra precautions can be knitted in fairly easily to the viewing schedule. But I just hope people are safe. If people don't feel comfortable, don't go watch it. It's going to come out to DVD at some point. You can just watch it then." Did an actor just tell people to wait until their movie's on video? That's a first. You know what? Safety aside, I'm going to take it one step further and skip this film entirely, because I know a shitstorm when I see one. Hell, I produce one every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel, so don't miss out. I was a huge comic book fan, and had been following the New Mutants drama. It was supposed to be out like 2 years ago, but it kept getting pushed back and reshot and edited and so on, until one day it was released and nobody cared. Even the people who made the film. I love comics, and New Mutants is a comic book film. And comic books are produced by a writer, an artist, a colorist, a letterer, and an editor. It's a collaborative process that can produce incredible works of art, and New Mutants was widely regarded as such when it was released back in the 80s. One of the key creators of the comic was Bob McLeod, a very talented artist in the Marvel bullpen. Bob has seen New Mutants and he wasn't a fan, and this is why. "I was very excited when I heard they were making a New Mutants movie. I thought making it into a horror movie was perhaps an interesting idea, but not at all how the characters should be introduced to the public at large. But hey, my characters are in a movie. I never thought that would actually happen, but then I was disappointed they didn't give Danny braids, although I like Blue Hunt. I was disappointed when Ronnie wasn't a redhead with spiky hair, although I adore Maisie Williams. I was disappointed that Sam isn't tall and gawky, although I do like Charlie Heaton. But mainly, I was disappointed that Roberto isn't short and dark-skinned. Yet another example of Hollywood whitewashing. There's just no excuse. So basically, #Josh Boone erased everything I contributed to the way the characters look. And now, the movie comes out, and at last, and apparently, they've credited somebody named Bob McLeod, spelled M-A-C-L-E-O-D, as creator. They couldn't even be bothered to check the spelling of my name sometime in the last 3 years. and that can't be fixed. That will be on the movie forever. I think I'm done with this film. So they couldn't even be bothered to spell his name right. From the sound of it, they didn't get much else right either. Now, I don't like this whole whitewashing comment either, but he does highlight the fact that The New Mutants is the dumpster fire we all expected, and it showed at the box office. The film opened with a whopping $7 million. That's impressive. Yes, I know the vid or the Rona is the reason why things are slow at the box office, but are they? Trash is trash, and this film being the first major release in months doesn't absolve it from the mortal sin of existing. A bad film is going to suck during this climate or any other one, so it shouldn't get a pass, and it doesn't. So you're probably asking yourself, what about Scott Mendelson? His take wasn't far off the mark, and you're right. He's not crazy. This time, it was the boogeyman. I'm sorry, I'm really excited for Halloween this year. Yes, Scott Mendelson was right about this one, despite the title of the video, Shill or Shithead. We'll get to the shithead part in a moment. But he does highlight one issue with New Mutants by saying, lacking marquee characters and existing a feature-length prologue, The New Mutants fails as a teen melodrama, and, particularly because we know none of the core cast is in any danger, as a horror movie. Whether it justifies itself as an X-Men movie is irrelevant, since it's a very bad X-Men movie. The worst of the franchise. At least X-Men Origins, Wolverine, had multiple locations, multiple characters, and a big-scale comic book action that resembled a trashy 1980s canon flick. New Mutants' visuals are generally drab, and a few moments of fantastical color lit up the screen. All due credit for an inclusive cast and front and center same-sex romance, with a note that Boone's The Fault in Our Stars was one of the best movies of 2014. The New Mutants is like watching a lousy TV pilot for a show that you know didn't get picked up. I'm so glad it didn't get picked up. I'm not a fan of X-Men meets Dank Twilight or Danklight. That actually sounds pretty cool. I'm taking that one. The X-Men are in a weird place right now. Since Disney was rumored to buy Fox, they just stopped caring about the X-Men in general. It's nothing new. Disney and Marvel proper once disowned the X-Men because they weren't making money off the movies, so they stopped making merchandise and canceled some of the books. It was a dark time for X-Men fans. It's an equally dark time now because we've had multiple X-Men films that phoned it in. Disney is banking on the fans to ignore their mistreatment of the mutants and hope we all open our wallets when X-Men appear in the MCU. It's going to take a while to watch the New Mutants stink off of us. However, if Disney waits too long, we'll all be too busy with the DC stuff. Speaking of DC stuff, perfect transition, Scott Mendelson, the reason for this video, got put on blast by Zack Snyder for his rather short-sighted comments on Justice League: The Snyder Cut. Now, it's one thing for people on the internet to call you out or disagree, but when the director of the film responds to you directly, you're a special brand of asshole. So that trailer for the Snyder Cut of the Justice League looks like the same movie? Lots of deleted scenes from the marketing campaign, but otherwise it looks like an alternate take of existing scenes. You said you enjoyed the theatrical cut of Justice League like you enjoy your Saturday morning cartoons. Well, this is made for grown-ups, so you're not in the demographic. Also, cool of you to comment on a leaked teaser. Wow, Scott, thanks for playing. Johnny, tell him what he's won. Nothing. Scott never wins. This kind of clapback is hilarious to me. First off, Zack Snyder remembers Scott Mendelson. That's good, right? You always want to be memorable, but not like this. As I said at the beginning of the video, Scott Mendelson has had some doozies over the years, especially when it comes to Star Wars, so it appears that he's on people's radar. He's definitely on ours. You know, I often wonder, how many people have found Scott because of our videos? Most of the time when we feature his bad takes front and center, more people watch and talk about him than read his articles. I've called Scott Mendelson the gift that keeps on giving, and that's still the case. Is he some lame-brained idiot that has no clue what he's talking about? Is he some paid-off reviewer looking for early access? Or is he just out of touch with the reality of the situation? I'll let you decide those questions, but I'm here to decide if he's a shill or a shithead, and the answer is shithead. Yes, he's way off the mark about Star Wars and DC, but when it comes to New Mutants or Bill and Ted 3, he's right on the money. Upon making this video, I've realized something. Maybe Scott Mendelson isn't all that bad. Maybe Oh, come on, dude, what the So shill or shithead could become something we bring back occasionally. Just let me know who you think would be a good addition to the series. Or we could just update it weekly and call it the Scott Mendelson Chronicles. I'll let you guys decide. But if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button on the way out before you go, and make sure you're subscribed to World Class Bullshitters for this and tons of other content here on the channel. You know, it's an interesting time right now. Politics are being used to defend bad films, and Scott Mendelson is very guilty of using politics to defend a film. I mean, look at what he has to say positively about the film. The representation is great. The lesbian or gay romance is great. It's like, okay, but the movie's dog shit. So thankfully, he has the ability to, I don't know, look past that. I can't believe I'm actually saying something positive about the guy, but whatever. I'm not. I've seen his Star Wars takes. But folks, if you like this video, check out other videos down in the description below. We have some old Scott Mendelson takes, and we're going to be pumping out more content all the time. As I have said, we were stuck living under a rock. Not really. But no, we're back on schedule. Monday video, Wednesday video, Tuesday, Thursday live show, and maybe some surprises on the weekend. But make sure you guys are here to watch, because we're not stopping anytime soon, and the hits just keep on coming here on World Class Bullshitters. So join our Patreon page. We have access for just $1 a month, but $5 is where the fun starts. You get commentaries, movie reviews, videos, all sorts of things. It just keeps getting better every tier you go up. Also, join our Facebook page. We're over on Facebook. We have a private group. You can interact with the community, the best part of the Fandom Menace. Yes, the creators are awesome, but you guys, the community, is what makes it fun, is what makes it real, is what makes it worthwhile. So, folks, I'll be back on Wednesday with another video. In the meantime, join us tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the High Council, where we'll be joined by Doomcock for the first 90 minutes, and then we'll have a special surprise after that. So get there early, and be prepared to have a lot of fun. This is Jeff of World Class Bullshitters signing out. So, folks, remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, always be excellent to each other.